All right, so we have a pasuk with all the tochachot of Moshe Rabbeinu. When he talks about the meraglim, he says the pasuk ve'ita b'nei adavad. It was befitting in my eyes to send the meraglim. And Rashi says on the spot, if it was good in Moshe's eyes, why did he feel the need to give tochachot? You can't be upset that you told me that you agreed. So you can't get mad once the result was bad. And Rashi gives a mashal. He says it's a mashal of a guy who tells his friend, "Sell me your donkey." He says, "No problem, I'll sell it to you." He says, "You're okay with me taking out for a test drive?" He says, "No problem." Because even on hills and valleys, the guy goes, "Yeah." No problem. So once he hears that, she says, the guy says, I don't have to test it at all because I know that you have no problem and I'm not going to stop you. So Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, I did the same thing. Once I agreed with you to send you out, I assumed that once you saw that I'm not stopping you, you would have said, okay, we don't need to send meraglim. It's dangerous this and that, and okay, right? But however, but I v'atem lo hazartem bachem. But you didn't go back on it, and you still sent them out. That's why the tochachot are coming. That's the Rashi's explanation. But Zera Shimshon has a question on Rashi that even with this, it doesn't make sense to say the words ve'ita b'nei adavad, which means I saw it fitting in my eyes. Why? Because it makes it sound like it would have been better. Well, not that it would have sounded. It would have been better if Bnei Israel didn't ask at all and just would have trusted in Hashem. By saying Vayita Bnei Adavar, it makes it sound like he rather them go through the exercise of you asking and me saying no problem, and then you saying, okay, I trust in you, and we're not going to send him meraglim. The question of Zera Shimshon is, it's obviously much better if we would have just trusted in Hashem and Moshe Rabbeinu from the beginning. What was the need? Why does it sound like Moshe is happier knowing that they asked and then hoped that they would just agree he would see that Moshe Rabbeinu was not stopping them from going, that they would say okay and not send the meraglim. That's the first question. The second question is the first question is on Rashi. The second question is on Moshe Rabbeinu himself. When Moshe Rabbeinu was talking to the meraglim, right, he tells them in Shlach Lecha Uritem et haaretz, go look at the land, and he goes into a little detail. He hazakhu harafeh hame'atu. Right? Is it strong or is it weak? Right? The question is, why did Moshe Rabbeinu need to specify these specific things? It's very pashut. If you're going to see their defense system. You're going to see what type of people they are. You're going to see if they're strong. Why does Moshe Rabbeinu Dafka specifically have to say these things that are pashut? If we would agree to go spy, we know what we're going to go spy for. We don't. This is like spy class 101. You don't need to tell me go see if it's strong or not. That's like the first thing you're gonna go check out. Why did Moshe have to? Why did Moshe Rabbeinu have to say it? And why did it have to be written in the Torah that he said it? So, in order to understand, we bring a halakha Shulchan Aruch, Hosh Mishpat, Siman Resh Lamed Bet, Vav. He explains that if all the locals agree that when something has a mum, when something has a defect, you're allowed to return it. But if everybody agrees that when there is no mum, you can't return. Meaning there's a no return policy. If everyone agrees, no refunds. You ever hear that? I don't want no refund. I want my money back. Old school. So but Shulchan Aruch says that if you agree, if everybody agrees that if there's no mum, you're not allowed to return it. When you allowed to return it? Only if you specified it before. If you stipulated that if there's this mum, then I want to return it. But if the way of the land, if they don't agree that it's a mum, then they like a scratch, right? Remember, like we said, if the goods smell a little, if we take them out of the box, but everyone agrees that if we air them out a little, they'll be fine. That is not grounds for return. But if they come and they have a cut in the goods, then everybody agrees that you're allowed to return them, right? And Shulchan Aruch ends by saying that whoever's buying and selling goods regularly, you go by the minhag of makom. You somech on the way the people are. Whatever the way the land is. So if New Jersey is returns, but New York is not, and you're conducting business in New Jersey, then you would have returns. In New York, where there's no returns, you wouldn't be able to return. That's the general rule. And we said that it seems that when Bnei Israel went to Moshe to send the meraglim, he agreed to send the meraglim, but on what conditions? On what is categorically a mum? What is categorically a mum? Right? That's what he did when he agreed. Hiskimu b'nehem al inyan hamumin sheyimseu ba, which means what? Is the nation strong? Is the land weak? Right? And he hints it in the pasuk because the Rashi says also, right? It says that what he says to what it says. Hahazeku, if it's strong, what does it mean if they're strong? If they're living in open cities, because if they're living in open cities, then it's known that they're not afraid, and that would constitute a mum. And Moshe said, no problem, I'll give you that. Or the other way, he says, right, if it's harafeh hamatu, if it's weak, what does it mean weak? If the land is desolate, if the land is not producing. So if the land is not producing, I'll also give you, that's okay, that's a mum also. Right? And those two things are a mum. Okay, in order to specify, to define what is a mum, right? And they all agreed that, and that's what the pasuk means to say vayita b'nei adavad. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu was happy with. Your best deal is your first deal. You ever hear that? Your best deal is your first deal. So when Moshe Rabbeinu is going to send the meraglim, I'm having vayita b'nei adavad because I know we categorize what's a mum. I know what a mum is. Bnei Israel know what a mum is. They can send the meraglim. Okay, this should be easy peasy. Let them go 40 days. Let them come back. Well, we'll go back in. Everyone, it's paperwork at this point. It's paperwork. When and by the way, and that makes sense. We said why Rashi said Rashi goes extra because Rashi says can I test the donkey by the mountains and by the valleys. Right? Let me take it in Nisayon. He keeps saying, yeah. Where do you see this dialogue between Bnei Israel and Moshe? All these questions and answers. You don't. Where do you see it? You see it in the pasuk. Hahazeku ve'arafeh ma'atu. They're saying what? That Mima sheperet Moshe, what Moshe specified in that pasuk, what is strong and what is weak. We learn that was the dialogue between. That was the negotiation. And even if they didn't agree to these terms, Moshe would be hoshesh that lest they might come and say something that's not a mum, and they say, "Oh, that's a mum." But now that they agreed, there's nothing they could do. Meaning, your contract, partnership agreement is important to have. They went to. I think I forgot which rabbi, the one with the tzitziot. Rabbi Zilberstein, Rabbi Steinman, Rabbi Steinberg. Sorry, he went to Rabbi Steinberg, and the guy tells him, Rabbi, we don't need a partnership agreement. Me and my brother, we're good. She goes, do me a favor. This is what the rabbi says. If you don't want to make a partnership agreement for you, then do it for us. Because in 5 years from now, when you come to us fighting with each other, right? Then we're the ones that are going to have to, if you would have a partnership agreement from the beginning, then everybody gets to defer to the partnership agreement. Whatever it says there is good. But now that you don't have it, he said, she said, what I think was right, you think was wrong, now you have to come back, now you have to come to us, the Beit Din, now we have to deal with it. We don't want the headache. Make the partnership agreement. Moshe Rabbeinu was happy that they specified what is a mum and what is not a mum. So now I'm happy if they didn't specify, then it would be a problem according to Moshe. And you see even that the Rashi continues in this theme that they negotiated with the pasuk from before, because it says vayashivu otam davad. We're going to tell you, and Rashi says, what does that mean? We will bring back to you what the davad, what they say. We're going to tell you what language they're speaking. What's the language of the land? So what does Bnei Israel care? What language they speak? So even this. That was part of the agreement, the negotiations between Moshe and the people. The closed with Bnei Israel, and with all this, it didn't help at all because the Meraglim basically reversed everything that they already agreed on. Why? How do we know? Because the Meraglim, they came and they said, they said that everything that was not a mum was a mum. Why? They brought in these giant clusters of grapes. Remember, one of the things was a mum is that it's not going to reproduce. But you're bringing something that clearly is producing. You're bringing these giant grapes they're producing, but you're using what is not a mum. Now you're flipping. You're flipping it, right? Because the way it reproduced was different. Just so to the nation is different. And even they saw, what was the second one? The first one was the cities. So the cities, they were all walled cities. They come back and say, no, they're all in walled cities, tall walls. right? That was the siman that was should be okay. And now, and not only that, you're saying that they're stronger than us, and we don't have no walled cities. We're walking straight and open, and they're holding walled cities. So they muftarized everything that they agreed on, and for that reason, Moshe brought out the Tochachot. Not that Moshe had a problem with sending the Meraglim even after the fact, because even after the fact that he thought that they were going to disagree, that they would hold back, they didn't hold back. They said, okay, no, we want to send them in. Good. Now that they send them in, all right, let's make the partnership agreement. Let's make the contract. Let's stipulate what's it called? Okay, if it's closed or open, fine. If the land can reproduce, so fine. Bnei Yisrael come and they say, we also want to end the language because the language determines what mentality they're in. Right? That's what's said downstairs, right? What mentality is okay?
What language they speak? What's their character?
What's their character? Pattern of thought, right? So when Moshe agreed, so Moshe good, no problem, agrees to all this. Now after they come back at the Megrim, flip the switch on everything that they did. They said that the land is walled, and they said it's bad. They said that the land does reproduce, but it's too big. They brought back the way they spoke, and even that's not bad. So for that, Moshe Rabbeinu came and they did the Tochachot. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.